The red dust of Arcov-9 whipped through the air, scratching at everything it touched. Captain Liam Hart tightened his coat and pushed forward through the barren landscape, his boots sinking slightly into the dry, crumbly soil. The planet was harsh, almost unforgiving, but that was part of the reason humans had colonized it. Life here was not easy, and those who survived had a strength that few other beings could imagine. Liam's mission that day was simple on paper: deliver food supplies to a small, remote settlement tucked in the cliffs at the edge of the southern canyon. He had made these trips many times, and he knew the danger that came with the territory. Dust storms, rock slides, and sometimes the unexpected presence of scavenger bands who preyed on weak communities. But despite all the risks, he carried out his duty without hesitation. Humans had a reputation for courage, and he intended to live up to it. The storm was growing stronger as he approached the settlement, forcing him to shield his eyes. A faint sound reached him over the wind, a soft cry that didn't belong to the planet's usual whistling winds or the distant rocks tumbling down the cliffs. Liam stopped, tilting his head. The sound was human-like, fragile but insistent. He walked carefully toward it, scanning the rocky terrain. The cry became clearer, and he realized it came from a narrow crevice in the cliff face. Peering into the shadows, he saw a small figure huddled against the rock. It was a child, no more than 8, with shimmering blue skin that glimmered faintly in the dim light of the storm. Her large eyes reflected fear and desperation. She held something in her arms, a worn, ragged teddy bear that looked almost too small for her grip. "Please, please, human," the child called, her voice trembling. "Trade your food. For my teddy bear. My brother."
"He hasn't eaten in days."
Liam froze. The request was strange, almost absurd, but the emotion behind it was real. He crouched slightly to appear less threatening. "Your brother, he's sick?" he asked gently, keeping his voice calm. The girl nodded quickly, her eyes wide. "Yes, he is weak. The raiders, they took our supplies. We have nothing. Only this bear. It gives him hope, but it is not food. Please, human, trade your food for my bear. He needs to eat." Liam's heart tightened. He had delivered supplies to struggling settlements before, but he had never seen desperation like this in someone so young. There was no trickery in her eyes, only fear, love, and a kind of courage that came from sheer necessity. "What's your name?" Liam asked. "Ailey," she whispered. "And my brother. His name is Kale." He looked around at the tiny shelter built against the rock, a few pieces of scrap metal and cloth fashioned into a roof. Inside, a small shape lay on the ground. Kale. Liam approached cautiously, kneeling down to get a closer look. The boy was pale, almost sickly in hue, his chest rising and falling weakly. His breathing was shallow, and his eyes opened slightly when Liam knelt beside him, curiosity mingling with fatigue. Ailey flinched when Liam touched Kyle, but he raised his hands in reassurance. "I'm not here to hurt him. I just want to help." The girl hesitated, then nodded. "The bear. It helps him remember hope. But he's hungry. He cannot live on hope alone." Liam studied the teddy bear. It was small, patched in several places with one button eye missing. Yet he could see why it was precious. It wasn't just a toy. For Kale, it represented comfort, safety, and the love of his sister. He could understand that. Humans knew the power of symbols too, even if they were simple things like a worn stuffed animal. He reached into his pack and pulled out a few rations, offering them to Ailey. "I'll give you some food," he said. "But you have to promise to keep him safe." Ailey's eyes widened in surprise. "You, really?" Liam nodded. "Yes, we can trade. Your teddy bear for some of this food." Her hands shook as she handed him the bear. It was light, worn, and smelled faintly of home. Liam could feel the weight of the gesture, the trust she was giving him. He handed her the food, and she immediately knelt beside Kale, helping him take small bites. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, Kale's color began to return. Liam watched, feeling a rare warmth in his chest. Even in the harshest world, small acts of kindness could create enormous ripples. "Thank you," Ailey whispered, her eyes glistening. I thought nobody would help us." Liam shook his head. "Humans, we try to help when we can. But tell me, what happened here? How did you survive the raiders?" Ailey swallowed hard, hugging Kale closer. "They came at night. They wanted our supplies. Everything we had. Mother and father. They are gone. Only Kale and I. We ran, the bear. It was all that Kale could hold on to. Without it, he would have given up. Liam's jaw tightened. He had faced danger before, but there was something about seeing children so resilient and yet so vulnerable that stirred a protective instinct within him. He looked around, noticing deep claw marks etched into the rock around the settlement and the footprints of scavengers leading away. The raiders had not only taken supplies, they had left threats behind, perhaps planning to return. "We can't let them come back," Liam said quietly. "You need a safe place to stay." Ailey shook her head. "There is nowhere. Our village. It is destroyed. We ran here. But the cliffs. The cliffs protect us. We cannot leave," Liam understood. The cliffs were natural defenses, yes, but they also limited their options. He needed to think quickly. "Then we make these cliffs work for you. I'll help build traps, diversions. Anything to keep you safe." Ailey looked at him with awe. You would do that?" He nodded. "Yes, but we need to move quickly. Scavengers are clever, and they will come back when they realize the settlement is not empty." For the rest of the day, Liam helped Ailey secure the small shelter. He fashioned simple barriers with rocks and twisted metal, creating clever ways to warn them if anyone approached. Ailey watched closely, absorbing every instruction, eager to help. Kale, slowly regaining strength, clutched the teddy bear to his chest, his eyes brightening. As the sun set over the red cliffs, Liam stood and looked down at the small family. The wind had died slightly, leaving the alien landscape eerily quiet. Ailey approached him, holding Kale's hand. "Human, you are very brave and kind," Liam smiled softly. "I'm just doing what I can. You too. You are braver than I am. You survived when most would have given up. That's real courage." Ailey tilted her head, considering his words. We never had hope before. The bear, it gave Kale courage. You gave him food, and now hope is stronger. He believes again." Liam knelt beside them. "Hope is important. Sometimes it can save more than food. But now you have both. You have the bear, food, and protection. We will keep you safe." Ailey's eyes shimmered with tears, but she smiled faintly. "You are not like the others. Humans are strange but good." "Strange is fine," Liam replied with a small grin. "And we try to be good when it matters." As night fell over the cliffs, Liam kept watch, feeling a strange sense of connection to the small alien family. The wind whispered around him, carrying with it the promise of danger, yes, but also the possibility of hope. Somewhere in the darkness, he knew the scavengers would return. But for now, Kale slept peacefully, clutching his teddy bear, and Ailey stood proudly beside him. Liam understood that even in the most barren, hostile worlds, humans could make a difference. Courage, kindness, and quick thinking could save lives where brute force often failed. And in this quiet settlement under the alien stars, he felt the rare and satisfying knowledge that he had done something truly right. The red cliffs glowed faintly under Arcov 9's twin moons, and Liam made a silent promise to the small family. He would return. He would ensure their safety. And maybe, just maybe, humans and aliens could learn to trust each other in ways that would surprise the galaxy. The night on Arcov 9 was cold and still, broken only by the occasional rustle of wind through the jagged cliffs. Captain Liam Hart stayed close to the small alien shelter, keeping his eyes sharp and alert. Kale, the little boy, slept peacefully now, the teddy bear clutched tightly in his arms. Ailey sat beside him, brushing back his hair and whispering softly so he wouldn't wake. Liam had never seen such determination in someone so young. Ailey, despite her fear and exhaustion, was brave beyond measure. She had survived a raid, protected her brother, and now depended on him, an outsider, a human, for their survival. It was a responsibility he did not take lightly. Humans had always prided themselves on helping those in need, and he would not fail them. As the hours passed, Liam began to inspect the area surrounding the settlement more closely. He discovered tracks in the red soil, small deliberate marks that suggested scavengers had returned recently, perhaps to check if the settlement was empty. The thought sent a chill through him. These scavengers were ruthless, often leaving communities to starve if they couldn't take everything. But Liam had a plan. He spent the night quietly crafting simple traps and alarms. He used rocks balanced precariously, and thin metal strips that would rattle loudly if anyone stepped on them. Liam knew these were not lethal measures. He did not want to hurt anyone unnecessarily. His goal was to protect the children, give them time to hide or escape if the raiders returned. By dawn, the small settlement had transformed from a fragile shelter into a protected hideout. Liam showed Ailey how to use the warning systems. She listened intently, her bright eyes absorbing every detail. Kale, now awake, held his teddy bear as if it were a shield. His small smile filled Liam with warmth. "Do you think they will come back?" Ailey asked quietly, her voice trembling slightly. "They might," Liam admitted, "but we are ready, and we will protect you. You have to trust me." Ailey nodded slowly. "I trust you, human. You are very different from the others, brave and kind." The praise made Liam smile faintly. Humans were capable of great things, but kindness often made the difference between life and death. He could see it now reflected in the tiny family before him. The morning passed with an uneasy calm. Liam taught Ailey how to gather small plants and herbs from the surrounding cliffs that could supplement Kyle's food. The girl was quick to learn, and soon she moved with quiet confidence, bringing supplies back to the shelter. Liam watched her with admiration. She was a natural survivor, and Kale's health improved rapidly under their care. But peace was fragile. Around midday, Liam noticed movement on the horizon. Shadows shifted among the jagged rocks, and the dust stirred unnaturally. The scavengers had returned. "They're coming," Liam said quietly, his voice steady but urgent. "Ailey, stay inside with Kale. Do exactly as we practiced." Ailey nodded and ushered Kale back into the shelter, closing the flimsy doors behind her. Liam moved to a higher vantage point, using the rocks for cover. He studied the raiders, 3 humanoid figures in tattered armor armed with crude weapons and scanners. They were searching, moving slowly, methodically, unaware that Liam was watching them. He considered his options. Confronting them directly could be dangerous. They were strong and experienced. But Liam had something the scavengers didn't: intelligence and strategy. Using the natural layout of the cliffs, he set simple diversions: rocks that would fall when disturbed, small metal strips that rattled in the wind, and narrow paths that would force the raiders to move in predictable ways. As the scavengers approached the settlement, they triggered the first trap. A small cascade of rocks tumbled down a slope, startling them. One of them cursed, stepping back. Liam stayed hidden, moving silently between cover points, ready to adjust his plan as needed. The raiders split up, trying to find the source of the disturbances. Liam used this to his advantage, guiding them toward false leads while ensuring the shelter remained undetected. Every small noise, every distraction was calculated to keep Kale and Ailey safe. Inside the shelter, Ailey whispered to Kale, "It's okay. The human will keep us safe. Trust him." Kyle nodded weakly, gripping his teddy bear tighter. The boy's eyes reflected a growing trust, a fragile but real belief that humans could be allies, not just outsiders. Hours passed in tense silence. The scavengers grew frustrated, shouting at each other and scanning the rocks with irritation. Liam stayed calm, moving from one position to another, ensuring no harm came to the children. His mind raced, calculating every possible scenario. Finally, the raiders began to retreat, convinced that the settlement was empty or trapped. Liam waited until they disappeared behind the cliffs, then descended quickly to check on the shelter. Ailey and Kale emerged cautiously, relief written across their faces. They left?" Ailey asked. "They did," Liam confirmed. "You're safe for now, but we must stay vigilant." Ailey hugged Kale, tears of relief in her eyes. "Thank you, human. You saved him." "You saved us." Liam smiled gently. "No, you saved yourselves too. You were brave and smart. You helped me protect you. That counts for a lot." The next few days were spent reinforcing the shelter and teaching Ailey and Kale simple ways to stay safe. Liam also shared stories of human resilience, of how small acts of courage could ripple into great victories. The children listened eagerly, fascinated by the tales of distant worlds and daring deeds. Kale grew stronger each day, eating with renewed appetite and even exploring the immediate area around the cliffs under Liam's watchful eye. The teddy bear remained his constant companion, a symbol of hope and courage that the human had respected. One evening, as the twin moons of Arcov 9 rose, painting the red cliffs in pale silver light, Ailey approached Liam. "Human, will you stay?" she asked softly. "Not just for now, but longer?" Liam considered this. His duties required him to move on, to continue supply runs and patrols across the harsh planet. But looking at the children, seeing how fragile and yet resilient they were, he understood the impact one person could have. "I will come back," he said carefully, "and I will help as much as I can. But you must also remember, You are strong. You can survive and protect each other. Ailey smiled, her eyes bright. I will remember, and we will wait for you. That night, Liam stayed outside the shelter, keeping watch as he reflected on the events of the past days. Humans were capable of remarkable things, not just in technology or warfare, but in empathy, courage, and quick thinking. Here on a distant, barren planet, he had seen the best of humanity reflected in the hope he had restored in two small alien children. The wind whispered through the cliffs, carrying the faint promise of danger but also hope. Liam knew the scavengers might return, but he had taught the children, and he had prepared the settlement. He felt a rare satisfaction, the knowledge that humans could make a difference even in worlds where survival seemed impossible. Days passed, and the bond between Liam, Ailey, and Cale grew. The children began to explore more confidently, and Liam started to understand the alien culture, the importance of symbols, rituals, and community. The teddy bear was not just a toy, it was a lifeline, a reminder that courage and hope could exist even in the darkest times. One morning, as Liam prepared to leave temporarily for a supply run, Cale ran to him holding the teddy bear out. Human, take him with you, the boy insisted. Liam laughed softly. I think he's doing just fine here, but I promise I'll come back to see you both, and when I return we'll make sure this settlement is even safer. Ailey hugged him tightly. You're more than a human to us. You're our friend, our family. Liam felt a lump in his throat. Humans often measured family by blood, but here in this alien world, he understood that bonds could form in many ways. He nodded, smiling. And you two are my friends too. Stay strong. Take care of each other. Remember, hope can survive even the harshest worlds. As he departed, flying across the red cliffs in his small shuttle, he looked back at the settlement. The twin moons shone down on Ailey and Cale, standing side by side, their eyes fixed on him. He felt a deep sense of fulfillment. Humans had come to this distant world, and in doing so, they had proven that courage, empathy, and intelligence could change lives, even for those who seemed the most helpless. Liam's journey across Arcov 9 continued, but a part of his heart remained with the small alien family. He knew that one day he would return, and when he did, he would find them thriving. For now, the red cliffs stood silent and still, but hope had taken root, and in a universe full of challenges, that was more powerful than any weapon. The stars above glimmered endless and bright, and Liam Hart knew that humanity's legacy was not just in exploration or conquest, but in the lives they touched, the hope they inspired, and the courage they ignited, one small act at a time.